Hi guys, this is the Bangalore podcast, and we are a bunch of guys who are ever curious and we want to get out there and ask stupid questions to smart people. And we want Bangalore to answer. And this podcast is all about that. And if you are curious like us too, and if you're a Bangalorean, this is a good place to be.
What's happening, bro? Welcome to the Bangalore podcast.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna ignore all the coronavirus shit for a second.
Yeah, for a second, and give me a real handshake.
Yeah.
Nice, bro.
Right.
So I didn't get your name, bro.
I'm Mohit.
Mohit.
Yeah.
Okay, so like we have Mohit on the podcast, and like our man Sham has brought him over.
One more.
What's up?
One more of such.
Yeah.
Crazy people.
Yeah. So what do you do, Mohit?
So I have two jobs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I work in the same architecture firm Sham does.
Yeah. Okay.
And also I work on an electric vehicle company as a digital marketer.
Oh, nice.
So I just started doing this December 31st.
So how's the
2019.
architecture thing going on?
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
So okay,
yeah.
let me let's rewind and let's
Yeah.
see where do you go to school?
I have changed 4 schools, bro.
Okay.
Like back in Karkala. Like Karkala is.
Oh,
near-
Karkala, okay.
Yeah. So.
Ah, nice.
Right.
Coastal side.
Coastal side. Yeah, Bangalore side. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
10th?
10th in this school called Nitte.
Nitte.
Nitte. Yeah.
Nitte,
Yeah.
we are in this Nitte or in the other Nitte?
Yeah.
Sakshats from Nitte.
Oh, you're from Nitte.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
crazy.
Bangalore.
Bangalore Nitte. Okay.
Not
yeah.
in. What's that's called only Nitte. The full place is called Nitte. No?
Nitte. Okay. Yeah. The full like village is. It's like
Village is-
it's sort of like Manipal, bro. Like they
Manipal,
made it
yeah.
into a college or like
Ah.
village type. Yeah.
Ah, nice.
But
College?
College is Manipal, man. Manipal
Oh,
scenes,
nice,
yeah.
nice, bro.
Yeah.
So you're area boy, coastal
Yeah,
boy.
coastal boy. Yes.
Nice. So then, how did you end up in architecture?
Oh, I actually didn't want to do engineering, bro. That was my initial reason. That's it. Like straight jump into architecture. But once I got there, it was pretty, radical. That the creative aspect of it. That you got that freedom, but also the things that you got to do. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, but with the same thing, there's a lot of anxiety, because there's a blank page and you gotta
Right,
think
right.
about what you're gonna do next.
So
Yeah.
let me ask,
Yeah.
I asked Sham also,
Uh-huh.
do you need an eye how to draw to be able to draw for
Oh.
architecture? Is it a must? Is it necessary for somebody who's looking out to do architecture and they're not
Oh,
necessarily good at
Drawing?
drawing or they slack a bit at drawing?
I can't draw for shit.
It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. But still, you gotta consider that drawing is the language for architects.
Do you need OC? Do you need the OCD? Do you
No.
need to be OCD?
No, none of that stuff. Like,
You're part of the band?
It's like an ad break.
we can edit it out
Brought to you
in
by
post production, right?
Right.
With chicken.
That's why we'll clap it in.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. I forgot the question. What's the question? Yeah, drawing. Yeah. No, bro, not necessarily. I for a second I did think that I would need to be really good at drawing to ace it here, but it's just you don't need to. It's basically how you think. You don't have to be really good at drawing. You just can doodle and stuff as long as you get what you're drawing.
Okay.
So in the end, the execution of it, you gotta be and those who are feeling anxious about, hey, I gotta be really good at drawing for architecture, you're gonna get to know it pretty soon. All that myth about your hand not being you can make it
Stable
steady by practice. And
yeah.
now given enough time, it's all gonna be digital anyway.
So what do you think about somebody who's studying architecture or about to study architecture?
You
Do
guys
you
were just telling
have?
me about architects being a dead job, gonna be a dead job real soon.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
here's the thing, architecture is it's gonna boom for sure because the discipline of it is gonna boom.
Right.
Just the fact that the architects, I don't think so. I think see, there is like phases of disruption happening.
Yeah.
So once the architecture gets digitized,
Uh-huh.
it's going to be democratized,
Right.
demonetized also. As in, like, you can't, charge for architecture anymore because
Uh-huh.
some guy is going to make a website with
Template out of
template,
it.
yeah. And all you got to do is you got to write your constraints and stuff, and who knows, the artificial intelligence or whatever going to make a plan
Right.
for you, and it's
So
going to get
human
done.
touch is not necessarily completely doesn't have to be hands-on in as we go along. You're saying
I
in terms
Could
of
be.
planning.
like it's debatable, because we don't know that, because now we have like all these machines for making poetry and stuff. There's a book on Amazon where machine
Yeah,
learning has
yeah,
been
yeah.
used to write
Haiku
haikus.
jams.
Yeah, exactly. So like anything could be possible, in the next few years.
Where do you think that is heading? Like AI and disruption,
Yeah,
digitization, decentralization.
Yeah, all of this, right? There's an excellent book about this called "The Future Is Faster Than You Think" by Peter Diamandis and Stephen Kotler. I'm
Kotler. Yeah, Stephen
Yeah, Kotler. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't. Okay.
What's he has the other book I read was very good.
Abundance.
Abundance also, and then there was one
Bold.
more. I think about ecstasis. a form-
Exponential organizations.
This was about tapping the inner fire and
Oh.
like.
Oh wait, stealing fire.
Stealing fire.
Ah,
yeah,
the way they
Stephen Kotler.
microdose
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
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 That was a-
What?
Yeah, you need to complete that.
What else?
What does it
On
mean?
A.
I think it's LSD, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the microdose on LSD psychedelics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was a very nice book.
Oh, I haven't read it.
So that
though,
book, that book is in accordance with like the Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi, the flow. the
Oh yeah,
flow book.
Mikhail's Cheeks and Me High. Cheeks and Me High. Yeah.
So Stephen Kotler, he references in that book probably. This I didn't listen. Abundance I did listen.
Yeah. Dude, this Future Is Faster Than You Think has really blown my mind away,
Yeah.
man.
No,
It's
I think like something like Alvin Toffler also.
yeah, I heard of that.
Future Shock and all that.
Okay,
He writes these old books about the future and like stuff
Alvin
like that.
Toffler, I've heard of that name, but
So what is this book about?
The Future Is Faster Than You Think. So
Like give us somebody who wants to like read like a
Yeah.
small review, like a premise.
okay,
about
like
it.
it's about convergence. So basically what's happening right now is, see, consider electric vehicles, right?
Right.
So you weren't able to make those lithium ion batteries before. The concept was there, like, to make batteries out of lithium, and now they started making lithium ion batteries. Like, how did that happen? Because different disciplines were in the right places in time to make it happen. So
Right.
convergence basically.
Mhm.
So when convergence occurs, like disruption happens. So
Right.
like different technologies coming together, and you have the right time to do the right things. That's why we
Exactly.
didn't have electric vehicles
Exactly.
mass produced back in
Exactly.
the
like the
50s and whatnot. Yeah.
like the breaking tipping point.
Tipping point. Yeah. Right.
So like tell me, like give me a recent book that has like changed probably the way other than
How changed my this.
Yeah.
So like one of them is the future is faster than you think.
yeah.
Like that is
Stephen Kotler and
Peter Diamandis. So Peter
I've heard of Peter.
Diamandis, yeah, he's the guy who started Singularity University,
okay,
and
okay,
there's something
okay.
called X Prize Foundation. Like basically, it's a prize for this, some space race, privatization of space. So. Like
Okay.
exciting times, man. I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah.
after reading that book, I think it turned me into an
Changed,
optimist
yeah.
overnight.
What do
yeah.
you know Kevin Kelly also?
No, I don't
Wired
know.
magazine.
Oh, Wired Man.
He's
okay.
the founder.
Yeah, yeah.
So his I about like all like exciting stuff he writes like
Ah.
about the future and all.
Right. Yeah.
That's called New Rules for the New Economy also. That
Ah.
like probably like when I read that too, that was
Yeah.
like a turning point about.
Uh,
That's why I got into digital marketing too.
oh,
like
I see.
basically.
I need to write this book down.
Yeah, probably I'll
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
you. Like,
Yeah, please, yeah. I just need to remember it somewhere.
yeah,
So
you
yeah.
can re-listen to your own
Yeah,
podcast.
own podcast. Yeah, I guess
Right.
so. Right.
So any other book?
Actually, I'm
Anything in
reading
between?
multiple books at a time. So,
Huh.
oh, one of the books I think which is excellent. Like it's an amazing resource. It's called Education of Millionaires.
Okay.
So yeah, like I was, I'm really encouraging everyone to read this.
Not The Millionaire Next Door.
The Millionaire Next Door is okay. The Millionaire Next Door is about like a study
Yeah,
where
yeah.
like people are like
Yeah, yeah.
undercover millionaires and whatnot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
the Education of Millionaires is Michael Ellsberg. He wrote
Uh-huh.
the book called The Power of Eye Contact.
No, that is
that is
Eckhart Tolle, yeah.
Eckhart Tolle, yeah. So
Bro, there's a lot of names you are saying, bro.
Yeah.
yeah,
Really
like
making
That's
it
why
up.
we gotta like
We are
probably
just-
re-listen to the podcast.
we are like name dropping,
Yeah.
like
Full name drop ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
yeah, like like these are just resources, guys. Like those who are listening. So like
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
To
So,
go forward. That's why I
Uh-huh.
believe like we get different guests on the podcast so that somebody listening can like have
Yeah.
take a tangent from here and start reading pick up
Yeah,
two books
sure.
and then like from there like
Yeah.
something else like how certainly I got interested from
Uh-huh.
one topic to another.
Yeah, certainly. Like that's how I got into like that's how, a friend of mine had like told me about your future is faster than anything.
So what is that? That
Oh, yeah,
was the Peter
yeah.
Sanders.
The Education of Millionaires.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's a highly recommended book. Okay, like Michael Ellsberg is a guy who went through an Ivy League college, like a really good college, and he found out he was struggling. Okay, in his 20s, he's struggling really hard to like make
Okay.
it. He's living with his parents. He's trying his best and all that.
Uh-huh.
But then like he becomes a copywriter and he like makes it
Amen.
like yeah.
Yeah.
So he becomes
Nice,
a
yeah?
writer, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
From copywriting, through
Yeah,
copywriting.
through copywriting. That's his passion basically to
Nice,
like
nice. Even I
write-
like copywriting too.
Okay, cool. So what Michael Ellsberg does, the whole premise of Education of Millionaires is that okay, I went to college, I did not get what I want, and I'm still in debt.
Right.
Like how the hell like these entrepreneurs are doing?
So like basically in debt like most of the people who
Yeah.
pick up debt
Yeah.
through going through Ivy League and all
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, like there are several of my friends who are taking a master's by taking up
50
debt.
50 lakhs.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, I'm pretty sure that I'm not gonna go that way
Yeah,
because okay, like the Education of Millionaires is one of the
Huh.
main arguments which I got from
exactly.
this.
Okay.
So he talks to all these college dropouts and like how did they make it? And some of the stories are really difficult, right? Like these guys went through like a lot of stuff,
Shit, yeah.
bootstrapped themselves, and made it. And Education of Millionaires is basically a list of resources you can access to like get yourself educated, to educate yourself.
Nice. I
Yeah,
like it.
and
I don't know how I haven't like
heard
come
about this
across
before. Okay, right. And have you heard of this book called Personal MBA?
This is an Indian guy who wrote.
No, it's by a guy.
No,
this,
I thought I
yeah.
I've heard of
Yeah.
personal MBA.
Yeah, this is by Josh Kaufman. So he takes an entire MBA degree
Nice,
and
that
makes it into
probably would want to read that.
yeah. Oh, dude, dude, that book is like
Bible.
amazing. Yeah,
Nice.
because the chapters are so tiny, right? Like I have a friend of mine. Like he's been asking me since college, hey man, like I want to start reading. I
Right.
want to make a habit. So I'm like, okay, how do I make
How
this?
do I, yeah.
How do I do it? So then I found out like okay, this guy's interested in business. Okay, that was a
Right,
lead.
right.
So I then personal MBA had these chapters which are like only 1 page long. So if you read that one thing, you can
Oh, nice.
go
Okay.
to
From
sleep
there-
and next day you
from
can
there,
yeah.
pick it up.
So what I did was
Personal
I
MBA,
broke
okay.
the whole book into like a series of lists, and every day when he like read a chapter, he used to like send me a thumbs up. So
Right,
that way he
right.
finished the book. Okay, and I was like very proud of this. Oh crap, like he did it. And then
peaceful,
yeah, then after that he read Education of Millionaires and so on and so forth. And
Right.
Education of Millionaires really got me into thinking about marketing and sales very very seriously.
Yeah? Okay.
So
Okay, let's move from there. Like what have you gotten and what's your overview of
yeah,
marketing and sales?
marketing
Tell me
and
your
sales.
shift from like architecture to
Like
Okay.
a transition.
Transition.
I think it's based off of like you learning and absorbing from the books,
Yeah.
seeing like probably marketing and sales
Yeah.
too is like okay. Let you
Okay.
complete it.
Right. So in architecture, like I did not get like why people were so they were treating like architecture as if there's some ideal you gotta like in college basically.
Right.
So I never, it's weird that architects like are in themselves a niche community, like they are like away from the general community. The ironic part is I felt like away from that community too. Like I felt more outside of it. So like there was a struggle a bit there, like so I was just mostly like reading. So I had to commute. I didn't stay in Manipal. I had to commute from Karkal to Manipal, 30 kilometers. Like so I used to read books during that time. So in architecture, like what I got, like it was a more of a visual thing. So you need to have this concept visually,
Okay.
and the words and all, like I was good at pitching basically. Okay, I was like good at pitching
Nice,
the
nice.
concepts.
Elevator pitches.
Yeah, those
Big
things.
pitches.
So there was one point in my architecture school where I was
Right,
supposed to pitch a concept, and all my classmates had like a full elaborate sheets of like all kinds of concepts, and I had like this one sheet. Okay, like we have this thing called butter sheet,
Right,
and I had literally taken a crayon and made some like last minute sketches,
Nice.
and I was speaking for 15 minutes about it. So like for a second, like they heard me. Alright? They had the patience to hear me, and they finally said, "What are you writing, a novel or something?" And then but I've been like not performing very well during the architecture scene, like
Right.
because I found out that I was
More interested
in
leaning
the
towards
writing part and all that.
Okay,
so
okay.
the words,
writing
writing
copy.
essays and yeah,
And generally in general.
in general. So, but I could like ace the juries.
What is the?
We have final juries in architecture.
Yeah,
Okay.
like an exam.
By ace, I mean like it's.
Just get through.
Here's a trick. Okay, there's this thing called mirroring.
Mhm.
So there's this book called Never Split the Difference.
Yeah, Chris Voss.
Chris Voss, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's by this guy called he's a
A
FBI
fucking
hostage.
Amazing book. Like.
Incredible.
That book, like,
Yeah.
probably like
Yeah.
after 2 chapters, it made the most amount of difference any book can make. Like,
True, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like just the mirroring
Fuck,
part
yeah,
is
yeah.
like
yeah.
So like
Huh.
so the part of this mirroring is like you repeat the last 3 words like what the jurors says.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so like if he says, hey, like Mohit, like why is your like basketball court in the east side of the plan? East side of the
east
plan.
Side of the plan.
So like you ask,
So you ask,
yeah. So
Does that make
Yeah, bro.
you-
He's a hostage negotiator.
like
So he's
some
written a book.
psycho?
No. He's like a
So-
hostage
So-
negotiator.
Uh.
Yeah, part of it is psychology, but
Uh.
like most of it is his learning from how to deal with high pressure
This
and
thing
high.
works, you're saying? So what happened?
definitely,
Like,
see,
bro,
like
that
it
book, I
won't
never
work
went
if you're
back to
like
that
being insincere about it.
Okay.
Like it won't work if you're like okay, like your mind is somewhere else,
Somewhere
and
else and
you
you're
just say,
trying to-
oh, like
Bro, this is life or death situations, bro. There'll be a
Yeah.
hostage situation
Yeah.
in some
Yeah.
fucking supermarket,
Yeah.
and you need to like, or else that guy's dead. So
Yeah.
basically, you're
Yeah.
supposed to.
tell
so-
me tell me more about this mirroring. What?
No, there are a lot of techniques. Mirroring is one,
One
of
of
that.
them.
You have to
Ah.
use it in accordance in a
Ah.
flow, basically.
Okay.
Right.
Tell me some more, bro.
okay, so this hostage negotiator, right, Chris Voss,
Yeah.
he's like
You leaving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Huh.
I thought there was another
So
door.
clap it in.
right,
Thank you.
Huh.
right. So Chris Voss, so I forgot like there is another book called Stalling for Life. It's about this
Okay.
this TV show about David Koresh, Waco, Texas. So there was this there was that's his name is Gary Tobbs or something. I forgot
Okay,
his
Bro, ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ bro mirroring.
No, he's talking about.
Oh
that.
yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So Gary Tobbs is a guy who like pioneered, like he built up the current manual for the FBI hostage negotiation.
Okay.
So back then, people didn't, were not too keen on negotiation. They just wanted to go guns blazing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seemed to me, based on what I've read. So Gary basically mentored Chris Voss.
Okay.
So
yeah. Okay.
So like. So these are the things like Chris Voss has developed, like mirroring, labeling, accusation,
Labeling,
audit,
exactly.
and
I have to go back to it.
yeah, there's more. Like
So
he has
if,
Name of the
like
book.
on
Name
a-
of the book.
never split the difference.
So
And
like a side note, probably if somebody is listening,
Yeah.
never split the difference. Like go check that book out.
right now,
Probably like things haven't been the same, like with
Mm.
other stuff too, but like things haven't never
Uh-huh.
been the same after I read that book.
yeah.
And if you're in sales, if you're in marketing, negotiations,
Mm.
business deals,
Mhm.
and like various like
Mm.
places that
Mhm.
you can definitely use this, because
Mhm.
he basically uses this in life or death situations.
Yeah.
So like if you are able to like learn a bit of it, because as far as I remember about the book, because I feel like I have to read it like 2-3 more times,
Mhm.
and I didn't even complete because I halfway through I just got like so psyched. I just got so psyched. I had to like
Uh-huh.
like see if this works, and
Uh-huh.
it works so well that like I will like let me take a step back, like
Uh-huh.
redo the book and redo the book again,
yeah.
because it's a really good book.
Yeah.
So a lot of my friends too are in sales and marketing.
Marketing,
So like
uh-huh.
the more like you understand
Mhm.
this and persuasion,
Persuasion. Yeah.
Robert Cialdini.
Yes.
So, like, the
influence and
influence.
persuasion.
Yeah.
Robert. Yeah.
Right.
Cialdini
So
or
those two
something,
books, like probably
Yeah.
if you're in sales and marketing,
Yeah.
I think
Go for it.
I tell
Mm.
my friends all the time,
Mm.
it's one of the
Yeah.
best stuff to start
Yeah.
off from, right?
Influence is
from
like a
the
cult
best.
book, right?
Yeah, it's like a
Everybody
cult.
mentions it. Yeah.
It's like a cult. Like after that, again after that book, I don't think it's the same. It's ever been the same
Uh-huh.
about like understanding how marketing works. Influence.
Influence. Yeah. So
Robert
like,
Cialdini.
yeah, we still didn't get to his question about mirroring and more like okay.
You
this-
gotta read the book.
Yeah,
bro.
you gotta read the book.
Condense it. Tell me more, because I don't have time to read a
Yeah,
book.
you
bro.
would-
Or you could
wouldn't,
go for
uh,
his masterclass. Chris Voss has a
tell
masterclass.
me-
Ah, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
tell me what exactly happens. Like, what's the
Okay,
aim for that book? What's the idea behind it?
The idea behind it is to negotiate. Like negotiation happens every time. Like see, human beings we use
Okay.
language to have conversation. That's like 80% of our interactions, isn't it? So a person like really feels like he's belongs when he's being listened to.
Yeah.
So listening is key. Like
Yeah.
and when you listen, you gotta recreate what he says. Like so that he knows that you
You're
understood it.
listening, yeah.
He or she like knows that you understood. Like that's one of the thing. So
And then to initiate more and to repeat words. Basically, it's a technique. It's
Yeah.
basically you have
Yeah.
to like sit down,
yeah.
read it, go around, use it.
And if you're
practice
feeling
it.
awkward about it, it
It's a
means
big
you're
book, is
going
it?
the right track because it's
Good.
deliberate practice.
Deliberate
Yeah.
practice.
It's a
Yeah.
big book, is it?
It's
No.
400 book pages.
400.
Yeah.
I'll
Pretty
try.
chill.
Yeah.
I'll
Hey,
try.
see, hey, 20
he has
pages.
a master class
yeah.
now. You can just like
Yeah.
pick up the master
Yeah.
class. Chris was, I just
Chris
recently
was.
saw the.
Chris was.
And he has YouTube videos to Big Think, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. And he has his company is called the Black Swan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
one of the people there, he has written another book called Ego, Authority, Leadership.
Okay.
Yeah, that one is about leadership using hostage negotiation. It's
Uh-huh.
called Hostage Negotiator Leadership.
Oh, nice.
HNL. Yeah.
I think I fell in love with Chris Voss.
Yeah,
I think I
he's-
might.
yeah,
like,
right? Have you heard of the Charisma Myth?
I've heard of.
Oh, dude, you
By
look.
him only.
No. Charisma Myth is by Olivia Fox Cabane. All right.
Okay.
So
I don't need to take notes. I have to just re-listen.
Yeah,
to it.
cool. So, dude, that book is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that book is like unbelievable. So I got the audiobook version of it, and like I used to listen on the bus. I'm just like side note, like
Yeah.
the
Like
narrator of the
everybody
book. Yeah, the narrator of
does.
the book is has a very sexy voice. Like
Okay,
she,
okay.
being a she's
It's a plus point.
Yeah, sounded like a hot actress.
Seducing you.
Yeah.
Orally seducing.
And-
ASMR book.
Yeah, could be like it was what do you say? It was, and it's all about charisma, no less, And it was a charisma myth is like a very
I've heard of the name.
fascinating book though. And
what is it?
What's it about?
it's about charisma. So basically, charisma myth of the title is that
Myth or myth?
myth MITH. What did you say?
MITH.
Oh no, not the myth. So it's a myth. Okay, so what the myth really is that people think charisma is innate. Like the people who seem to be very charismatic, you think it's a innate talent.
Right.
Like
Tony Robbins.
you're born with it. But it turns out like people who are charismatic, they seem to switch it on and off.
Okay.
So like Bill Clinton and like Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
and,
Examples in the
these
book.
are the examples in the book.
Uh-huh.
So like the book starts with this thing that Marilyn Monroe and a photographer are like traveling by train. Nobody recognizes Marilyn
Right,
Monroe, right? So Marilyn Monroe's real name is James Norma Dean, all right? So that's
Okay.
her pseudonym. So like he's just taking up pictures when she's like normal. Then finally when they get on the platform, she like tells him like, hey, you want to see her? And she like does something like small tweaks, and everybody starts recognizing, oh shit, this is Marilyn Monroe, man, like right here. Trademark, yeah. So before that, people couldn't recognize because she had like turned off. And so this book is all about how you get to access it.
Access it.
So,
Oh, nice.
and in a weird way, from charisma myth, I got into like Vipassana, which is like
Vipassana meditation.
Yeah.
Swami. No, that is. As in, through just like that. Through that.
No. There's in this charisma myth, there is this exercise called metta meditation. Okay.
Okay.
METTA.
Uh-huh.
Metta is like a Pali word, like a old Buddhist,
Okay.
So metta bhavna, like
Uh-huh.
means loving kindness.
Okay.
So okay, I'll tell you the selfish reason why I read charisma myth.
Uh-huh.
During Manipal,
Gotta
like
get cheeks.
exactly, like
Yeah.
to
There are other PUA books also.
yeah, the pickup artist, but like this pickup artist community is very very fascinating. Like
Fascinating.
yeah,
Like, just for reading, I don't
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Let me ask you something. If I win, you give me a kiss.
Okay, like those things don't work, I
But it led you to Vipassana meditation.
no, from the charisma myth I found out about metta. Metta meditation is basically like it's meditation. So it's basically you having practicing loving kindness
Okay.
to human beings, love for humanity.
Right.
So it's not easy. Okay, come on, like you gotta like practice it. Yeah,
Intentionally sit down.
intentionally, yeah. And the more I got into, this metta meditation sounds very fascinating. And in the resources, like she also mentioned a couple of books.
Vipassana.
So yeah, so I like checked out other things. So if you are like really into Vipassana, there's this book called 10% Happier by I forgot his name, Dan Harris.
Okay.
So Dan Harris is like he's a war reporter
Okay.
who like found out about Vipassana after he got into a
Right.
drug bender. He got a panic attack in live TV, and he thought he should try something. So he went to therapy, didn't work. He went to all kinds of stuff,
To get through
rehab.
all the PTSD.
Yeah, and finally he got Vipassana, and I was very fascinated
I've
by
heard
this.
of people
Yeah.
citing Vipassana for just like.
Yeah. So I read this when I was in 4th year, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna do Vipassana for sure.
So does it work? Do you?
And last year I went, like November 12th to November 26th.
Where is this?
In Igatpuri in Maharashtra.
Okay.
So it's like 100 kilometers from Mumbai.
Yeah.
So, bro, I am telling you, the Vipassana is like, I'm for certain I'm going like this year
Nice.
as well in November.
So what was the experience there?
So, okay, in the first day, like I reached there, I thought, okay, maybe I'm in the wrong place because it seems to be like all retirees there, and there are a couple of young guys, but like
But
80
it still
yeah.
didn't look like.
Yeah, you gotta wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and
Yeah, I've heard of them.
you sleep at 9:30 p.m.
And the
I'm
food
like,
and all is very restrained.
yeah, like what do you call it? Sattvic bhojan.
Sattvic,
Yeah, so it's all
life, full of life.
yeah, vegetarian. But beautiful place, bro. It's in the foothills of this Western Ghats,
Mhm.
and they have a pagoda there
Where is this?
Pagoda.
in Igatpuri.
Who
It's a-
who this place run by, bro? Some ashram, is it?
No, it's a very interesting thing. I'm actually very surprised I didn't know about this. It's the person who started this Vipassana thing it's called Dhammagiri. So the person's name is Goenka. So he's
Right.
yeah.
It's a very familiar name, bro.
Yeah, like so it turns out he was born in Burma, but
Okay,
his family is like apparently during the British times the civil servants were sent to Burma, and he's a descendant of that.
Okay.
So in Burma, like, see, Vipassana was originated from India, but we forgot about it. But in Burma, that practice is still alive.
Right.
So his mission was to bring it to India and later to the world.
Okay.
So
So how was the experience?
it was beautiful, man. Like for the first 4 days, it was a struggle because
Getting acclaimed.
yeah, because
How long were you there?
I was there for 10 days.
Peaceful, bro.
Yeah, like.
You're not supposed to talk.
Proper-
Yes,
to, right?
exactly. Yeah. You're
How
not
the-
supposed to talk. No writing, no media of any kind. It was like a total digital
Like a
detox.
dopamine detox, basically.
Yeah.
No talking also.
No talking also. It's an emergency. You talk to the volunteers, but no looking in the eyes, no making hand
Oh,
signals.
no looking in the
So
eye.
it's basically complete solitude.
Like a
Not
psychic.
solitude also, but
Yeah.
but there are people around you.
So it's just
Flip it.
you're just there. Doing
Yeah.
nothing. What do you do? You
Go in the side, yeah.
Yeah. What do you say?
no eye contact.
No, I
Like a
can't.
psychic.
So like everyone's around and you're just there. Like
So when
What do
I
you
You do your own shit.
meditation.
when I was there, 200 people were there. We go to the same cafeteria to eat and everything, but we are like supposed to like not
They'll put them
move.
for the horse. They'll put
Yeah. So
So like full meditation and
huh?
how was it like proper meditation?
Yeah. See, 11 hours of meditation per day, man. The schedule goes like this: 4 o'clock is the morning bell, and I hate that bell.
11 hours.
Yeah.
Pavlov condition.
like
4 o'clock bell
Vaguely.
vaguely like when you
Balana culture.
yeah 4 o'clock like when I hear that bell I'm like, oh crap,
Yeah.
like now to get up. So like I wait my time till 4:30. Okay, 4:30 is the time you go and start meditating from 4:30 to like 6:30.
Okay.
Then you take care of whatever you got to take care of, and you breakfast happens like it ends at 8:30.
And very clean, less salt and like less of.
Yeah, the food is like that.
Mm,
Oh bro,
spices.
I was really craving a donut, bro. I really wanted to
That's
eat
the
some-
opposite of what you're supposed to eat.
yeah, but like I was like hoping like
Dunkin'
hey,
Donuts right outside.
yeah,
Hey,
I was
what's
hoping
up?
like at least a kesari bath, man.
Yeah.
like
No, no
At least
desserts.
one rice
no,
and-
No. It's the whole point, huh?
yeah,
It's the whole point. To put you in that state.
Yeah. But the tea had a lot of sugar, so
Yeah, okay.
like I used to drink a lot of tea.
Rapid.
Yeah. So, but hey, like from 8:30 to like some 9:30 again, like meditation. Then 11 o'clock.
Morning.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, 8:30 to 11:30 meditation. Yeah, like
Morning.
yeah, mornings. Yeah.
And then?
Again, like you have lunch, you have some time to like ask doubts with the teacher. That time you can talk.
So that's by 3 you're done.
Yeah. Again, like so, like they give you half an hour breaks, but most of the time, what you do is meditating.
Just meditate as in just.
So there are what I thought what meditation was like back in college. I used to do yoga and meditation. Like I thought it was just like focus on the breath and that's it.
breathing, yeah.
But that's only like a part, like, just scratching the surface.
Mm.
That is called anapana. Anapana is like breathing out. That's
Right, okay.
out, in and out. So vipassana is like insight, basically insight into your own. That's what I think. That's what the Pali word means. But okay, forgive me if I'm wrong, guys. But vipassana is like you need to when you're meditating. Anapana is basically metaphorically means it's sharpening the knife. Okay, of your
Oh, crazy.
the mental blade is like sharp.
Okay.
Vipassana is using the mental blade to actually cut the whatever you want, like
Consciousness.
So
Yeah.
it is inside, bro.
See, I was right. Okay, so so Yeah, that's the thing. So, see, like the first few days, it's all about anapana. You gotta like make sure your knife is sharp, and you will feel these small, tiny sensations in your like nose. Okay, you gotta concentrate on that. So that's the
Okay.
key for vipassana. So when you start doing vipassana, like you start from your top of the head all the way down to your toes. That what are the small, tiny, tiny sensations you can feel. So the whole point of this is that you become more and more a part of your body, like. And like this is the practice which goes on till the 9th day. Okay,
Crazy.
so like you feel those small sensations, you get better and better at it.
Tingling.
A tingling sensation, tickling sensation, like
Yeah.
all kinds of sensations. Basically the sensations in your body, you gotta focus,
This has become hyper focused
no
or like hyper like receivable. Like you will
Like
be able to like
self-aware.
yeah,
self-aware.
something of that sort. Yeah, because I've read in several books that people are experiencing like heightened senses, like like they're able to see colors brightly, like like magical things, like call it magical things, like with quotes, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
And then like at the end of the day.
okay, this is like see, I had already read about metta, bhavana, and charisma myth,
Okay.
and I had like heard about like metta in like 10% happier also. And somewhere else, okay, there's this blog called bakadesuyo.com. It's have you heard of this book called Barking Up the Wrong Tree? Eric
I've heard only
Barker.
about the what do you call
Uh,
just like a saying.
yeah,
Barking Up the Wrong
yeah. So this Barking Up the Wrong Tree is like my favorite blog. Okay, it's like the blog which got me into like start reading a lot. Okay,
Okay,
this
okay.
so so he has written like a small blog post about
Who's this?
metta. Eric Barker.
Okay.
So Baka Desio means like I'm an idiot. Like
Okay.
Baka is idiot in Japanese. So so Barker becomes Baka. So
Right,
okay,
okay.
never mind. So when he wrote about metta, like he was talking about how metta gives you like superpowers basically. Like it's a bit skeptical about it, but it was
Yeah,
interesting to read. So in the first few days I was like it was pretty getting hard, and I was like not so inclined
it.
to
Yeah.
wake up 4:30 in the damn morning and like start meditating on that
Yeah,
damn
yeah,
cushion. So but then I saw the schedule and was like just going through all of it, like there was all of these terms and stuff. Finally on the 10th day is actually in Hindi it's Maitrika Divas, which is like Metta Day. So in English, so like
Okay.
Metta Day, I was like, oh shit, like Metta Day is coming, so I gotta be prepared. So that was my whole thing of making sure that Vipassana practice goes well. So
And in the night?
in the night also you meditate, like from 6:30 to 8. So no, 6:30 to 8:30 you
And
meditate.
you don't like socialize and interact with
none,
anybody. You
zero.
just get in.
Yeah,
And before you get in, only they'll tell you the rules of the
yeah,
place.
yeah. So like like, but I
And then,
never.
like after 10 days, what did you take away from it?
Bro, I was happy, bro. Very happy. I actually was a little disappointed that I had to start talking again. Like my phone was off for a long time,
Ringing.
and
Isn't it just like a dopamine detox?
yeah, certainly. Like my phone was like all new to me, and
New,
yeah. And whenever I was like, okay, there's this musician friend of mine. Like he has this, he seems to say that he has this way of like detecting the person's mood or like
Or-
what he's feeling by the way of the voice. All right.
Okay.
So I had called him up in Mumbai, and he was like, bro, you sound very calm.
Calm.
It's like talking to you is like calming me down.
Oh, okay, okay.
And like, so I highly recommend, and get this, Vipassana is totally free. I didn't pay like a single rupee,
Oh, crazy.
only
The
for
whole
the
10 days.
only for the laundry.
Travel.
So
Oh.
yeah,
Travel.
Yeah.
Just up and down.
Yeah.
Where does this happen?
there's two in Bangalore apparently.
Okay,
But
okay.
I've not been there yet.
Shankill, no.
So it's like, is there like a particular like timing or like, I mean, this
It'll
happens
be
throughout the
batches
year?
probably.
Yeah,
Batches.
but because of the coronavirus, all of them have been like blocked
Ah, right
indefinitely.
now.
Yeah.
People are not touching anything.
NBA has been blocked indefinitely.
What?
too.
NBA?
Yeah.
NBA.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I see.
yeah.
Just
Suspended.
because one guy ate bat in China, now people can watch NBA.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
really because of one guy eating a bat? I thought that was a myth. Like that was just a fake news or something.
Yeah, when I heard it was fake news.
Nonetheless, let's move on, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just,
I wanna
I'm just talking shit.
I wanna ask about how did it? What about like digital marketing?
Oh,
and,
marketing
like,
and sales, right? Yeah,
And
like.
sales. From how did you transition on from, as you said, from architecture? You just
Yeah.
picked up. I'm much more inclined in this, and like, how did you go about like, somebody's sitting back and listening? Okay, like I'm also doing something,
Yeah.
but like there are options.
Yeah.
there's abundance of
Yeah.
information too, but like how do I
Yeah,
tackle it like
tack
from
it.
somebody who's understood, and like how do I go about it?
Yeah, like Education of Millionaires is the go-to thing. In the
Yeah.
two chapters called marketing and chapter for sales.
Okay,
Just
okay.
go for that. So in the marketing, like part of it. So what I really liked about it, not the the sleazy marketing where you like manipulate
right.
the people and all.
Huh.
So I'm talking about high integrity, high quality marketing. Like there's a saying by this author called William Gibson. Like he writes science fiction novels.
Okay.
The future is already here. It's just not distributed yet.
Crazy.
The future is already here. It's not distributed yet. So like it's all about like people getting to know about what's out there. So the marketing I'm talking about is direct response marketing. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, direct response.
Yeah. So like
I started off direct response.
yeah.
This guy, Russell
Dan Kennedy.
Brunson,
Oh, I don't know.
ClickFunnels.
No, I don't know that.
But like direct response marketers
Yeah.
were the books that I read
Yeah.
originally to get into understand how to like write
Right. Okay.
ads and all that stuff, right?
Right. So
And
you-
online.
Like as of now, like see, I've been just scratching the surface. Like I'm still not, I'm just discovering what it's all about. The another like what you can there's a new recent book called The One Page Marketing Plan by
Okay.
Alan Dibb. He
Okay.
uses all of these Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy was the pioneer of direct response marketing
Direct
apparently.
response.
Yeah.
I think he had a book.
Yeah, he has several. His books are like No BS Guide to Direct Response Marketing, No
Yeah,
BS
yeah,
Guide
yeah.
to Social Media Marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, so No BS Guide to like you get the picture. Like it goes all in.
And online, any other thing that you follow?
Online is it?
And,
There's copyblogger.com
Yeah, copy blogger.
and maryfondo.com. Like
Okay.
that's another one. ebonpagan.com.
Okay.
So Eben Pagan started off by writing Double Your Dating. Okay, he was like this guy who was teaching people how to. I didn't know about this until like he was called something else back then. But now he's into like all this coaching and webinars and whatnot. So I'm just in Education of Millionaires. There's a whole part where he says, look, these are all the guys you gotta follow. Just subscribe to their newsletters. Trust me.
So
it's-
when is this book published? Recently.
which one? Education of Millionaires? No, bro. It was published in 2012, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. Like
And any other podcasts that you listen to?
Oh, Sam Harris.
Sam Harris.
Yeah, I used to listen to Sam Harris a lot. I used
What
to like.
is the podcast called?
It's
heard.
called before it used to be called Waking Up. Waking Up with Sam Harris.
Sam
So
I think YouTube I saw.
yeah. Now it's called Making Sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I really liked Waking Up with Sam Harris. It was very
Heard of
yeah,
Sam Harris.
His
yeah.
voice itself is like.
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah, he
couldn't
does
sleep.
Vipassana, and he's
Oh yeah.
and he's an atheist, like like I don't want to call militant, but like when I was like listening to Sam Harris, I was like, oh yeah, atheism is like I was like such an edge lord, like hey, like religion is like, but now
Yeah.
since then I've been.
Uh-huh.
Oh, but have you heard of Jordan Peterson?
Hey, JBP.
JBB, yeah, like that guy's everywhere, like
He's like the
yeah,
modern father, internet father.
yeah, like
right. 12 rules for life.
12 Rules for Life. I really like 12 Rules for Life. I
It's
know
too complicated.
too complicated, but
Now
Like
we're
the way
talking
he
about one
speaks
book
is
I've
cool.
read, bro.
uh,
Guys are talking about one book that I've read.
you read 12 Rules for Life?
Yeah, I've read.
Oh,
The
great,
way
bro.
he
Uh-huh.
speaks is far more like
some 15 books. So
less complicated than like the
Uh-huh.
12 rules is too complicated.
Yeah, bro.
I thought he writes like how he talks,
Talks.
but it's not actually. The way he writes is like even more fucking
Yeah.
complicated.
But each
like
sentence is
deep,
like
deep
yeah,
shit, yeah.
it'll cut you,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Well put.
definitely.
No,
Yeah.
it's look, it's like needlessly, like I don't know if it's needlessly overcomplicated, but there's a lot of stuff he needs to put
Yeah.
in that one sentence. So
definitely.
so like,
But 12 rules of life, definitely.
and have you heard of like read his, Maps of Meaning?
Yeah, Maps of Me. He's
Oh,
his first book.
First book. Okay, so here's the thing. Back when I was in office, so I thought, you know what, I gotta read Maps of Meaning no matter what. Like this was back in 2019. No, 2019.
Okay.
I'm like, traveling by metro. So I thought, at least 20 pages I gotta read
Yeah,
every day
yeah.
in the morning and during the
Uh-huh.
metro. And it took some time, bro. It was really taxing. Yeah, it's
he's-
not
the
easy.
way he writes is actually different than
Yeah,
some
yeah.
people who speak like write as like
Hmm.
Gary Vaynerchuk. Have you heard?
Yeah.
So the
Vaynerchuk,
way he
huh.
writes is that the way he exactly speaks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like it's
Yeah.
pakka, it's
Simple.
easy
Yeah,
and
easy
simple.
to
and,
understand. Yeah.
This guy like takes it up a notch. The way he
Yeah.
speaks is complicated,
Oh,
but
bro.
you can understand. But the way
Uh-huh.
JBP writes is
Yeah.
like, what the fuck
Complex
is happening?
idea,
to you?
But
Yeah.
bro, I'm telling you, like like he has this essay writing guide, okay?
Huh.
Like how he writes an essay. It's too comprehensive. I tried doing that, it did not work out, man.
Yeah?
Like it takes So he talks about like, hey, this is how it goes. These are the books you gotta read. Like, make the list of the books, make the list of the
Points.
the objectives and outcomes.
Right.
So outlining basically the essay. So I just couldn't follow through on that format. It like gonna try again though, but it's been trying
Right.
since a long time.
You're running ads online also?
No, bro. Like I just got into like this pretty recent, like January.
Huh.
So I'm just using Facebook as of now. For
Okay.
the digital marketing part. So
Just
so like I'm gonna like be upfront. Like I'm very amateur at this. Whatever
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
doing,
yeah.
I'm just
I mean,
taking it.
definitely,
Yeah.
but that's the
Yeah.
sphere of digital
Yeah.
marketing right now is very
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the more you learn right now is the more you get to take away, because there are
Yeah.
not like any
Yeah.
right now there are like some colleges giving you
Courses.
but when I used to like learn, it was just like
Mhm.
it's like a wild west. Like
Oh,
I used to fucking run ads, and like it was just like for the sake of running ads instead of like just for a course.
Yeah.
Just run ads,
Run
learn
ads.
how to run ads, and like
Uh-huh.
I mean like give. So that's what I took away. Like
Uh,
in order to run ads,
yeah.
if you were born 20 years ago,
Yeah.
you need to be. There were two gatekeepers: the radio and like the television, right?
Uh-huh.
So in order to run ads, you need to like go through a lot of rigging and
yeah.
like to understand ads. And if the
Yeah.
ad fails, there's a lot of like consequences.
Yeah. Consequences. Yeah.
This I used to just put $500
Yeah.
bucks, and
Screw it.
like
Yeah.
my friend had like a business or something.
Uh-huh.
Like it can be a dentist or like somebody is selling something.
Mhm.
I used to run ads just to see. Look, so
Yeah.
he has. I understand what I learned
Uh-huh.
through practicality,
Practical,
and
yeah.
he
Experimentation.
And this was the
Uh-huh.
way like Facebook allowed us to
Grow,
so,
right.
grow and like learn.
Yeah.
So now it's getting costlier.
Yeah.
That's because this year what has happened. This was 2-3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
But this year what is happening? Like all the billboards, if you observed in
Uh-huh.
Bangalore, are not there anymore. All BBMP is brought down. Like,
Oh, okay.
have you observed that? Like,
No,
there's
bro.
within city limits there anymore.
No billboards.
Yeah.
Billboards are there, no flex.
I see.
So the big boards are not there at all.
The frameworks are still there.
Yeah, that's what it's.
Frame.
It's
So
not,
what's the scene? Like what's
So
happening?
no, BBMP has just banned it like aesthetic purpose or some shit like that.
Really?
Just like
Okay.
It's
Not
about time
bad.
they ban.
yeah. So like the minute they stop that,
Uh,
like all the big
Yeah.
enterprises, they're supposed to run all these ads
Yeah.
instead of paper and plus like all
Yeah,
that. All the money started coming into like the digital sphere.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like the last 1 or 2.
I see.
So my ads will be
Uh,
2 years ago it was cheap, dirt cheap,
dirt
pennies
cheap.
on the dollar. Like
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, if you're
Yeah.
the same $500 would
Yeah.
make no difference because it's like everybody is
Everybody's
running for
doing
that
it.
space,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now, right now it's just a bit
Yeah.
more,
Bit more
difficult.
competitive.
comparatively,
Yeah.
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 So the right now like that's how if anybody is probably listening also, people keep asking how do I learn and how do I just
Yeah,
like go
yeah.
help a friend out, he'll have something, you
Yeah.
want to sell cricket bats and
Yeah.
fucking like somebody
Yeah.
wants to sell
Yeah.
clothes and fucking
Yeah.
something like that, like help a friend out, understand, start a
Mm.
page, start a blog, start a website,
Mhm.
understand, read more books, read from sources,
Yeah.
podcasts, right?
And the book to start is Educational Millionaires and
I have to.
one page marketing plan. Like guys, like go
Huh.
read, like find it right now. Yeah.
Nice.
Uh,
So currently what takes up a lot of your time?
oh, this.
Staying away from people.
No, actually, like since like like things have shifted in such a way that my social life has basically exploded now. I'm meeting a lot of people, like
Nice.
so it's very
Good.
yeah. So
Quick plug, like this is now I'm reading a book called Social by Matt Lieberman.
oh yeah, I've not heard of this.
Yeah. Just because you said social.
Uh-huh.
I've heard of Ty Lopez.
Ty Lopez, yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
His recommendations also like very good, like
Right.
neuroscience,
Neuroscience,
psychology,
right.
psychology,
Yeah.
sales.
Yeah.
So his recommendations also nice.
Yeah. So yeah, like, I guess I spend most of my time like reading books. Like there are times when I don't like
Huh.
fool around with like YouTube and stuff, but usually like it's gonna be books.
Huh.
So like
And work related stuff, what's happening?
work related stuff, like it's I have 2 shifts, right? So like in the morning I'm like in the architecture office,
Which is in China.
Jayanagar, and in the evening I go to Rajaji Nagar for my electric vehicle company.
And you
So
stay in?
I stay in Jayanagar now. Banashankari actually. Like I shift.
Shankri to Rajaji Nagar.
Yeah, like yeah, bro. Like I thought it would be an issue, but I seem to be managing like
Nice.
metro.
Once you get a hang of it.
Yeah, metro. Yeah, and Rapido, bro. Like
Yeah.
Rapido is.
We'll get to that later. Or okay, let's go from there. Like, tell us how do you see like Bounce, Rapido, and since you're like learning in the EV sphere and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
moving also to EV.
Yeah.
So how do you see
I
it
think
turning
Bouncing
out
onto
in
EV,
Bangalore?
is it?
Yeah, could like the
They
fleet
have,
they are getting it.
They have bounce electrics,
Electric.
Oh, I see.
and they are looking for investors for like the electric
That's a
scene.
good scene. bro.
Good
It's a
scene.
yeah.
Hey, I'm really looking forward to like Bangalore coming up with their own startups, isn't it? Like it's pretty cool.
Definitely.
And you know,
Bangalore is a startup hub.
yeah, hub, absolutely. Like I have a friend who once told me that there are like 1,000 startups alone in
In
HSR layout.
HSR, yeah.
Like,
Let's
that's
see, I
insane.
didn't even have to like.
Yeah.
I didn't even need you to complete your
Bro,
sentence.
Yeah.
Thousands.
Yeah, a lot of things going down in
Fuck.
HSR.
Insane actually.
A lot of
And-
young crowd and like.
Yeah.
One or two towards our side, bro.
And-
No, it's all that side.
And dude, like, get this, like in the future is faster than you think. There was this one sentence which really like surprised me. Like
Huh.
in the next few years,
Mhm.
the companies which are gonna be on the top, like the highest,
Right.
valued companies,
Huh.
have not even been started yet.
Mhm.
As in, like they're yet to be like started.
The next Amazon.
Yeah, the next Amazon. So like all these companies which are currently like too big to fail.
So, but they
Yeah.
stand on the shoulders of these companies,
Yeah,
which
absolutely. Yeah.
and they might get more traction,
Yeah.
but it's through
Through these,
understanding
no doubt.
these platforms.
Yeah, no doubt.
And how's the EV thing? What are you working on right now?
So right, like am I allowed to like disclose the company name?
Yeah.
I don't think that would work, but you know what, like
Oh, like unless it's
uh,
not cool with the EV.
yeah, EV people. So like
But if they need some branding and if
Yeah.
they need like people to like listen to it
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
I mean, but it's cool.
yeah.
But you
I
don't have to tell the name. Even
yeah.
though
So yeah,
I
like
mean, if they're cool with it,
yeah, okay, like
would they be cool? Would they already doing some branding?
no,
and,
maybe like I should like hold on for that. Yeah,
They're under wraps. basically.
maybe we can have like a second time.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
who knows?
So,
So
Yeah. You can come back and.
but
speak
yeah,
it.
just
Yeah.
know it's
So-
a Bangalore-based EV startup.
Yeah.
Alva.
it's not a startup. So like what? Let's just talk about
Let's
it later.
talk- Okay, like give us
yeah.
like a general overview of like
Uh,
EV in Bangalore.
Bangalore. Okay, so Aether like seems to be like doing
Yeah,
well,
Aether.
isn't it? So
what do you think about Aether and like
their website is pretty cool, but it seems to be expensive,
as a
isn't
product?
it?
But
Yeah.
that's because of the
1.8
tax regimes.
Tax. Oh, okay.
Right.
But they're
Right.
supposed
not
to.
allowing-
They're supposed to cut
Yeah,
taxes. for
slowly,
electric vehicles,
slowly,
but
slowly.
not for
Slowly,
the- for
they'll
the
get there.
petrol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, like I'm really excited for there's so many companies, electric vehicle companies out of nowhere,
That's
coming
the
up.
whole reason we get
yeah.
guys over the podcast just to like
Uh-huh.
know like
Uh-huh.
different.
Yeah, and dude, this
things.
like electric vehicles. Okay, look. Here's the thing. Okay, like about electric vehicles. What do you think about it that being very eco-friendly and all that? See, instead of using petrol vehicles, you're just basically using coal-powered vehicles, all right? Because you're getting the electricity from somewhere. So it's okay. It's better energy efficient because come on, you're not paying for gas anymore, like petrol anymore. But so that's one thing. And one awesome thing about EVs is gonna be quiet. So once you
Dogs
start,
are gonna chase you, bro. I think that's like a downfall that I've realized.
Only in India, bro.
only in
like,
India.
fucking- if
Yeah.
it's too quiet, the dog gets just too psyched. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Why is it not making any
Yeah.
fucking noise?
All you hear is that like the cool sound of the
And-
motor.
and
Yeah.
people also get just psyched, bro.
yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
like fucking attacking from behind.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then it's me just killing.
So all of the guys who are like electric vehicles experts out there, like
Huh.
come on, this is a new vertical for me. I'm like an architecture guy
Yeah.
who's like got into digital marketing and doing
Yeah,
it for
yeah.
electric vehicles.
Yeah.
So just imagine how I'm rocking my job right now. But hey, like
Exactly.
it's a learning curve. So
Huh.
I'm getting there.
Huh.
So like as an architect, I can like give you something like what I see for electric vehicles in the future is that
Definitely okay.
things are gonna start getting quieter in the city. Like people are gonna like build differently now. It's not gonna be like glass
Uh-huh.
facades anymore to like hide the noise. The cities are gonna be start like be a bit more open and air could be
Open
cleaner
as in
also.
spread it,
As in like like you won't
Less
worry about
windows.
won't be much noisy anymore.
noisy.
So that's
There's
one
enough
thing.
Construction work going on.
Yeah. So who knows, right?
But also like, how do you see Bangalore? Where do you like often like hang out on a weekend?
Oh,
Where would I find
Indranagar,
Mohit?
man. Indranagar, like I used to do internship in Indranagar. Really like Indranagar.
Huh.
And where else?
Any
MG
other-
Road.
Indranagar, any place like that you chill often?
Best
Chill often.
top 5 pubs, bro, for you in Bangalore.
I don't
Pubs or
drink
like,
much, bro.
cafes?
Yeah.
Cafes, hotels, whatever.
I really like truffles. So.
Like there might be a
Yeah.
bookshop.
yeah.
We'll go with
Oh, Higginbottoms, like
Higginbottom.
Higginbottoms and Blossoms in MG Road.
Blossoms,
So yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, but I have a Kindle. So
Yeah.
see, here's the thing, like
Yeah.
yeah. You tell me.
How does it impact you? Like
The Kindle.
hardware versus software,
So the thing is,
analog versus.
see, before I used to like use back in school, I was using the library a lot. Getting those books, dumping them in my bag, going around, like open the book and all.
Exactly.
So now
And
what?
it's heavy. It gets at a point like
Yeah,
fucking 5 books just get.
Yeah, bro. I have a friend who has a suitcase just for books, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like,
Fuck that shit.
and I take my Kindle out of my pocket,
Yeah,
like
15 tabs like running
yeah,
at the same
running,
time.
simultaneously.
Hmm.
So like, I really love my Kindle, bro, and
It's dedicated to just reading, so it's
yeah.
easier than to open laptop too.
Yeah.
So you can just like pop
Yeah.
the Kindle and start reading.
so there's like I really like. See, I really got into reading from Kindle because I was traveling by bus and it was very like
Exactly, more
and
convenient.
yeah, in the bus like I even no motion sickness also anymore.
Yeah, but like
I'm
I
used to
get
it.
that shit. Plus,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's why I switched to audiobooks
Okay, so,
because it's just.
I have a Kindle, okay.
Uh.
I fucked it up. Any place where I could get fixed.
I don't know actually. How do you fuck it up?
Bro, I put a magnet and screen.
Google.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
That kind
Okay.
of fuck up.
Google.
And
it.
when he's talking about it, I'm like, hey, I have dropped my Kindle so many times. What is his
How do you
Kindle made
manage
of?
to
Put a
fucking-
magnet
Yeah.
on the screen.
Yeah.
Or the magnet.
It's a
found the-
magnetic, ink.
Magnet found the
Yeah,
Kindle.
that's why it's
Uh,
fucked.
Shit, bro. Okay.
Don't put your Kindles and magnets together.
Magnets together.
They don't go.
Don't be a sound engineer and a reader.
Got it. Like, thanks for the heads up, man. Like, right? It's very basic that okay,
Yeah.
magnets and Kindle like won't go together, but
Like, no.
now I'm like, oh shit, okay. So I'm aware of it now.
So like you've been chilling in Bangalore from?
Okay, so I came to Bangalore back in 2017
Huh.
June for internship
Okay.
in Indranagar, and
This was at
2017
the Indranagar place? Architecture firm.
architecture firm, yeah. So like I used to stay in the Domlur, like near that
Okay.
Manipal hospital. So like Manipal.
Ronak's place.
Ronak's plane.
So there, and after that, like okay, internship I did for 10 months.
How
Like,
was the internship?
dude, I was super immature, man. Like
Yeah, you're
I'm
just
gonna
learning.
just tell it. Like I was like super arrogant back then.
Learning.
Yeah. Like all I think about was like, oh, Bangalore, like cool place,
Chill place.
like chill place. You gotta do all.
Flyovers, traffic jams.
Yeah, like so. I was only in there for the superficial part of it. I never
yeah.
bothered to like learn a lot of things, but
Huh.
but it was a nice, like the office, the people who I used to
Uh-huh.
work with, like I still, are in contact, like
Contact.
you're in good
Good
terms.
crowd. Huh.
Yeah, met him recently also, the boss
Right,
so,
right.
of that. So like
How was the internship experience?
architecture internship, like it's a different kind of experience. I was not paid. This is a totally unpaid internship. Like my parents are like totally like okay, like
Sweat
yeah,
equity.
you just go for it.
Yeah.
It's experience, exposure and whatnot. Okay, fine. So,
Huh.
but I spent most of the time reading books there.
Huh.
So there was a time when I was so bored. I read 13 Reasons Why. I don't know.
Fuck the movie. Just
yeah,
go for the book.
just for the book, and I finished it in a day. Like I had so much. I used to like not do any work.
So, but
Yeah.
what were they expecting of you?
Like like basic drafting and 3D basically 3D stuff. I was
Grunt work. Just
grunt work, and I was not so aligned. Didn't
But
enjoy
then
it, yeah.
it's good to soak in the atmosphere. and
Sure,
just-
certainly. Like damn, I
And
met
what,
like.
what do you think about like the aspect of like just doing a bit of interning for free and just for the exposure?
Okay, you gotta
versus
be
I just got my degree. I need to like
make
get
money,
paid and
get
like,
paid.
What's the trade-off basically? It's just
Mm.
going in and like being more hands-on and not taking a pay, but still like learning and like understanding versus just being put where you're getting paid, but like
Yeah.
you're like you're sort of, if it's not a startup, you're just like in one zone.
Right. I think if you're really passionate about it, if
in
you
the
think
field that you're
if the architect you think is like
Think,
really
yeah.
awesome, then go for it for free. Like what, that's what I think is the right direction to go.
Give some books on architecture, like something on a general basis. Like let me say, like if I
Invitation
wanna-
to Architecture. That's
Huh?
one book. You
It's
can go.
I wanna like not if I shouldn't be from the field because like
Mhm.
let's say like if I wanna learn math, right, I wouldn't be learning like the fundamental, like the
Yeah.
math book that just gets you curious enough.
Yeah, the fun books, right?
The fun
there's,
books
there's one
where
awesome.
where like for dummies kind of
Tell.
version.
Yeah.
What's a math book?
Yeah, it's called Burn Math Class. So it's about this guy who's like really hated math, but
Yeah.
then he discovered calculus. Like okay.
Boom.
René Descartes.
No, like this is a modern guy. But okay, so
Huh.
yeah, René Descartes, okay.
I don't know.
He did
Calculus,
coordinate geometry. Like
Coordinate,
calculus is. I'm sorry, bro.
So
Like
that-
I don't know who invented calculus, but Calculus was invented by either Newton or Arya.
Newton,
Just,
bro, Newton,
just
Newton.
check it out, bro. Like
Yeah.
we have internet right here.
What
Why am
about-
I? Yeah. So burn math classes.
What about the
Yeah.
burn? No. What about the architecture?
Architecture? Go for if you want fun architecture books. I recommend.
Fun as in interesting.
Interesting.
Just like
Yeah.
to pique my interest because I'm not in that field.
Right.
So,
You could try Invitation to Architecture. I forgot the name of the authors. Okay, never mind. Lebanese. Okay. Lebanese guys, like Lebanese is the
Now
guy
we know.
who invented calculus.
Yeah.
There you go.
uh,
Just Google it. So okay, there's this book called The Burglar's Guide to the City.
nice.
So this
I
is
already like them.
yeah. I that was the first Kindle book that I bought.
Okay.
So this is about an architect. He has a blog called a building blog, BLDG blog.
Okay.
So he decides to so the premise of the book is very fascinating. Like the people who normally use architecture use the doors, the windows, they see architecture normally, but burglars, they're different.
Yeah.
So
They see the loopholes.
they see the loopholes.
lopsidedness.
So like he does a case study of all the thieves who use architecture the way it's not meant to be used.
Right. See, this is what I was like trying to ask you.
Yeah.
Speaking about this, there was this
Very fascinating
burglar
stuff.
in Tamil Nadu when I was growing up. Okay, so this guy used to climb the balcony. Used to put a rod, open the
Yeah.
fucking what do you call it, cupboard with just like a rod. Pull the cupboard towards the balcony and just like bounce.
Bounce.
Oh.
Nice. I mean, not nice in a
Nice as in, if it's a
Yeah,
movie,
very
it's
smart.
nice.
Very
I-
smart.
I think,
Yeah.
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 If it's a movie, it's
Like-
nice.
Like to guys all out there, I do not endorse
Or
affiliate to like any crimes of any sort.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so.
So that book is nice.
So yeah, it's just very interesting, So basically, he does a case study like in Los Angeles, because LA is designed in such a way that the roads are like good for it's good for cars,
Yeah.
but there are like
definitely.
insane.
Huh.
Hey man.
Start.
So yeah, there's like insane traffic jams and whatnot, but bank robberies.
Huh.
Yeah, LA is the bank robbery capital of the world apparently.
Huh.
So there are these insane guys who like dig tunnels and stuff, and like use architecture in a way like it really baffles the architect.
Okay.
So yeah,
Ah.
yeah. So like he talks about that, and then he talks about this jewel thief who like studied the building codes of a city to know like where he can like climb properly to like get the the jewels, the top merchandise. So I recommend that book. It's very fascinating. Like there's also this one
Burglar's Guide to the City.
Burglar's Guide to the City. I forgot the name of the author. So in that he talks about this interesting architect back in the 1920s who is considered the most successful robber in the history. So basically what he did was he was a high profile architect. So he used to go to these social events, befriend the the rich guys, take their plans, study them.
Say I'm an architect.
Say I'm an
just,
architect.
Send
yeah,
it over to
yeah,
me.
yeah, send it over to me. You should
Makes
make
a good premise for a movie.
yeah, I really, bro. Then you should make 1:1 scale models in a warehouse. You should make a heist squad, train them how to like get this thing done. He was a master planner, like a
Sounds
super
like
villain.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, bro. back in the 1920s though, like. This reminds me of the Rick and Morty episode of that heist. Have you seen Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Like there was a heist con episode. Like it reminds you of that.
I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty, but like
didn't watch the.
I
latest
don't
episode.
even remember a single episode because that's what it is. You don't get to
yeah,
like.
you don't get to.
You don't. You'll be just be like, what the fuck just
Yeah.
happened,
Yeah.
right? Huh?
So
I heist the Jew. Which heist I do? I think feel like.
the Rick and Morty, where they, the Morty has an idea to write a heist script, and like Rick is like, okay,
Season 2.
the latest season, the
3.
yeah,
Okay.
Is season 4 is out, right?
I think season 3 is last. I guess so.
Never mind, like hey,
Uh-huh.
yeah, like what you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's basically the heist part. Like they go to a heist convention where it's all like a spoof of all the famous, Ocean's 11's movies and whatnot. So or whatever. Like I recommend Burglar's Guide to a City and.
Any other? Okay, so like okay, now probably some serious books like where people in architecture. Any
in
references?
architecture. Okay, there is this book called Convergence. It's by I have not read it, but the premise is pretty good. It's about how the how the academy like teaches architecture and how the people in the industry are like devising new ways, inventing ways in architecture. So it's about convergence, exactly what I spoke
Right,
about
right.
technology. It's by this guy called Randy Deutsch, Deutsch. I'm sorry guys, like I can't pronounce
Can't
the last
help it.
name, but
Google that shit.
yeah, sorry about that. But it's called Convergence. Randy Deutscher, like how you like
Deutsch.
write Deutschland, like
Right,
like
right.
that, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Deustch, I guess. So
What about? I was looking at Frank Gehry's masterclass.
oh yeah, I have actually,
Uh-huh.
and it's very
It was nice.
fascinating. Yeah.
I mean, like I just looked through it because I have no clue of what he's
Yeah,
talking about. But
yeah.
like, his
Bro, don't worry.
stuff
Even
is
I
like-
don't have a clue what he's talking about, and I've
But
been in
at
this
least, yeah, in
5
the
years
field,
here,
yeah.
so like so
Huh.
like
And what do you think about his stuff, Frank Gehry stuff?
like it's
They just broadly speak about philosophy, nothing technical in the masterclass. So it's just like.
I it's very interesting because I actually don't know. See, because see, people say architecture is not art. At the same time, there is some artistic elements.
Frank Gehry like
Yeah.
disapproves. And
Yeah, he's more
proves
of a
that,
sculptor. I actually like see whatever opinion I come across, like
There'll be a lot of
they're my
people.
own, but
It's okay without
Yeah.
like any poking any holes into
Yeah.
it. It's just your opinion.
yeah, I think like whatever he's doing it's a very bold thing he's doing. It's a bold enterprise he's doing. Like people can say like, okay, he's not environmentally conscious and all that.
Right,
He doesn't
exactly.
give a shit about the resources he's using.
Mm.
But even I
Talk
had
about
that.
It's art which
Yeah.
escalates it to a new level.
Yeah, like it's he's that art is like you're like overwhelmed by it. Okay, like
And
it's so damn
somebody's
huge.
paying for it. Like as long as like
Yeah.
if they're ready to pay for it, right?
No doubt. Yeah.
And what about like the architecture in Bangalore? Like what's like the scene? If you've been into it, like any good projects
Well,
or anything interesting around?
like like I have a lot of friends who can like start naming all. They're like architecture nerds, right?
Right,
Like they
right.
can like talk about a lot. But I am not into that scene,
Into that, huh?
So like I think
Because,
yeah.
Sham speaks about Mr. Jaisim.
Jason. Oh yeah,
He,
like okay.
refers to him a lot. It's
Yeah,
like, it's crazy.
Yeah, so like this might be like this will just goes to show like how much detached from architecture I am.
Yeah.
I had not heard of Jaisim until I got into the office. So turns out he's like a pretty
from what I've heard,
yeah.
gathered from Sham.
he's pretty famous and like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
goes way back and he's in that network of like really
High
famous
profile,
architects. Yeah, high profile architects. And okay, but one thing I can relate to Jaisim is that Jaisim's firm is called Jaisim Fountainhead.
And Fountainhead is a book
Yeah.
referred by Mark Cuban. That is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I haven't read. I started from. I don't know. Have
Oh,
you read
bro,
it?
let's talk about Ayn Rand now. So
Fountainhead?
yeah.
Okay,
Fountainhead is like a damn thick book. Okay, like okay, look, I still don't get why like
What is it about?
yeah, I'll get
Okay,
let's find out, man.
Please.
Because I still don't know why architects love Fountainhead so much. Because
it's a thing.
yeah, like this is a thing. Architects love Fountainhead.
And like I came through Fountainhead with
Mark
Mark
Cuban.
Cuban loves Fountainhead.
Dude, Mark Cuban reads 3 hours a day, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he named his boat after Fountainhead.
Fountainhead apparently. Yeah. So I'm like, what is this Fountainhead? I gotta like.
Yeah.
What's Fountainhead?
Fountainhead is a book by this.
Rand.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's a literal
yeah,
Fountainhead.
by Ayn Rand. She's like a Soviet immigrant.
Okay.
So imagine this, okay, like Soviet Union, like not a very nice place to live back then. Like little girl finds out Soviet Union and all that, comes to US, like okay, capitalism, man. Like she gets totally crazy about it. Yeah, and this it's very fascinating. Like Ayn Rand's philosophy comes through the Fountainhead. In the Fountainhead's basic premise is about this. The characters are like there's an architect. Okay, Rourke. His name is Howard Rourke, and he is like the ideal man in the whole book. He's an architect who has like super high integrity.
This is part of the book.
It's part of the book. Yeah, see, the book begins with him, and like
It's a story.
yeah, it's a story. It's a novel.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like some say that Frank.
It's like Hitchhikers.
No,
Like influential, but it's more of a story.
It's a cult. Like it's a cult novel, basically. It's a novel.
Huh.
So I don't know best analogy for this would be, but it's
Okay, go on.
It's basically a novel which speaks about a philosophy, like
Right.
Albert Camus, The Stranger. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like that's also a novel, but it's about
Okay,
philosophy,
continue.
right? So.
So this lady comes along to US.
Yeah, Ayn Rand is the author who came. That's her background basically. She comes to the US, gets fascinated by capitalism, I guess, and the book she has written several books, like We the Living, Anthem, Fountainhead, and she's more popular for Atlas Shrugged. Okay, Atlas Shrugged. Yeah,
I've heard.
yeah. That book is about industrialists. I mean, it's about entrepreneurs, I guess. Like it just celebrates capitalism, and So even I am not, I have not gotten bottom of objectivism. That's the name of the philosophy of Ayn Rand.
Okay.
But if you guys are really interested about Ayn Rand, I suggest this game called BioShock. Have you heard of?
it's a famous,
BioShock Infinite is the latest one. The BioShock 1, it's a very fascinating game, very atmospheric. It's basically like the plot of Atlas Shrugged.
Apocalyptic.
Crazy.
No, it's not post-apocalyptic. It's like in the 1960s, this industrialist realizes that the governments, the people are not letting him do what he wants to do. Like he wants to build crazy stuff. So he decides to collect all the people, the smart technology guys, artists and everything, and he builds a city in the bottom of the sea, the Atlantic Ocean. Okay.
Right.
And that city is called Rapture.
Part of BioShock.
This is BioShock, and the whole game is set under the bottom of the sea. And
One last song and we'll be
Yep.
No problem.
It's
yeah. Okay.
natural.
Yeah, so that talks about Ayn Rand's philosophy. So, but in any case, objectivism is about self-interest basically. Like you take care of yourself, like you follow what
What it takes.
yeah,
To
like
take care of
your desires.
Hmm.
You take care of that, and then through that you will help people. Like that's how
That's where it starts.
yeah.
As JBP says, clean your room.
Yeah,
first.
exactly. I mean, that's what I thought too. Like set your own house in perfect order before
Order.
you criticize the
Criticize
world.
us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
And Fountainhead. So what is Fountainhead?
So it's about an architect who does not let circumstances take him down. Like he has like a vision.
So it's about an architect.
It's about an architect.
Ah.
It's based.
Crazy. That's how it's like in the veins of like all the architects.
Yeah, like
Who pretty
yeah,
much inspired. Oh, nice.
yeah, and I met a couple of architects who say that I read it every year and all that. It's like how Mark Cuban feels so
Like
inspired.
even I don't like.
Uh-huh.
I don't because like I know like Mark Cuban loves that fucking book. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. Mark, yeah, man. Like,
His book is also nice.
yeah, I've not read his books.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know Mark Cuban writes books. So,
He has one which nice.
right. So yeah, so it's basically about the circumstances are all against him. Okay, like he's got a bad deal. So he's a guy who likes who has a vision of architecture where it's all modern. Like it's set in a place where people are all doing the classical classical type of buildings, but he has his own ideas. His whatever he makes seems to be like very new, so his own stuff. But people like ridicule him and all that stuff, and he goes through a very hard time. Like he's really literally put in like a really tough test.
So the architects who read like somewhat resonate with. that.
Resonate with this. Like hey, like nobody understands me. I'm like fighting against the.
So like basically like the ego of an architect.
Yeah, the people keep saying that it's the ego of an architect
Crazy,
and all
yeah.
that. Yeah, so.
A lot of reading left now.
Yeah.
After this
After
episode.
this. Have you heard of Tim Ferriss?
Yeah.
Yeah, like did you read his?
Definitely.
Yeah. Like
4-hour work week
yeah.
and
In his
4-hour body.
Yeah. I wanted to actually talk to someone who about this that.
I listened to his podcast.
Yeah, his podcasts are pretty good, no? Like
Yeah.
in
Definitely.
one of his newsletters, he was like, "Hey guys, 2020, I'm not gonna read a book, like any book."
Uh-huh.
He's like, he in 4-hour work week, he spoke about the low
4-hour
information.
book.
Yeah.
Probably.
Huh?
How to read in 4 hours, probably like. 100 books.
The funny thing is, he back in when he was in college, he had a course of speed reading. So it's funny.
Yeah.
So, but in any case, like Tim Ferriss declared that in 2020, I'm not gonna read any
Yeah?
book. Yeah, I'm gonna go totally detox myself. So I'm like, okay.
Detox for life, bruh.
Yeah. So I'm like thinking, okay, so I'm reading so many books, like, is it serving me? Like, I just got into like a self-reflection mode then
Through Tim Ferriss.
through Tim Ferriss, and then but I realized that okay, like I gotta educate myself. So and well, 5 years of architecture did what it did.
Yeah.
I realize I don't read enough books, man.
Shit, loads of people. I don't know anything.
There's Blinkist app now, which
Oh,
gives like.
dude, I just today.
which
Today I
gives,
downloaded Blinkist, and
yeah.
today's I really like the concept of a free book a day.
Yeah.
So today's book was Fearless Organization, which is very interesting. And I actually want to like.
After that, cap, don't tell me.
Yeah, exactly, bro. I swear. Oh, you're not supposed.
No problem.
Can you just edit this out in post production?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Clap it.
Yeah. So basically, like, you know, where in an organization where employees feel like they can't make mistakes, they don't feel like, you know, they are always, you know, there's no engagement happening. So if you have a leader in your organization who is like very person who just cannot stand failure, then you have no self-expression. So like
Doesn't give place
yeah.
importance to like learning and like
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah. Just consider like me when I have this habit of correcting people's English.
Yeah.
Like I say, people say improvise. I say no, it's not improvise.
Grammy.
It means improve. It's,
Grab a Nazi.
yeah, grammar Nazi. Then like someone told me like, hey man, like when you keep there's no self-expression around you because the way you correct people, like people are scared to like speak to you. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Think around it.
Yeah. So I'm like now reconsidering, you know, whether I should even go around doing that.
Just be a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, I think I'm
Fuck
yeah.
with people.
Yeah.
Right. What about anything else randomly you want people to know what's on your mind or the top
Do
of
you
your
read any
head?
fiction?
No, bro.
Oh,
I
okay.
do not. I
Yeah.
got into straight up reading just through like
Business
what
books, huh?
interests.
Yeah.
No, like just like the classics.
Classics.
Power of Now and like
Yeah.
what the top 10 posts
Top 10
for
posts.
every.
Yeah, books, right?
And then
Yeah.
there's a like correlating. If this book comes
Yeah.
across everything, probably start from there. Something like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Anything? Any app that you've been using that is helpful?
Actually, like you know, I've been using a lot of you know, reminders. Yeah.
Calendly, huh?
Yeah.
The one thing like really what like I got inspired from Mohit is like, you know, he never keeps anything in his head. Like
Nice.
he
Everything
yes.
jots
is
down
like
everything.
jots
and-
You should really read Getting Things Done by
I've heard
David
of
Allen.
it.
So
heard of it.
very fascinating book.
Yeah?
I thought it was some, you know, like
we use him literally like what like
oh, I'm a reminder machine basically.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah.
And you have like your own system.
Okay, so okay, look, I this is like
Okay,
a
give us like
lot to
give
unpack
for
here.
for a listener here, like
Uh,
just like an organization,
yeah.
and what you like find is much more practical.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you go about it tackling? Because like if he says like you're the go-to guy to like take care of everybody else's this one. Like, how do
But
you-
I'm telling you, like I really love this you know, this concept of GTD, getting things done. Okay, it's a cult book now. So GTD is basically like whatever is in your, like, see, you gotta engage with whatever is in front of you, right? So like if you're doing some task, you can't have all the bullshit of other tasks, you know, swimming in your
Interfere.
mind. Interfere. So what do you do about it? The brain is a very lousy thing to remember. Okay, you cannot trust your you know, brain to remember
Brain
things.
to
There is
remember.
even a saying like
finite willpower also.
yeah, that too. But the palest ink you know, beats the, you know, strongest memory. Some kind of saying,
Okay,
you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need to like write it down in an external structure. Okay.
Exactly,
By
okay.
structure I mean like some
kind
thing
of
that
a
you have
format.
devised, so it's out there.
Hmm.
So GTD system, it works like, you know,
And do you follow that?
or I've been like trying to, okay, I do follow it.
And
Yes.
that's how he gets things done.
Yes. Like I do follow it, but it's a never-ending mountain, bro. It's like you
Okay,
gotta keep. There's so much to like work in that. So I was just thinking, okay, how do I implement GTD? Like I used to like journals back when I was, you know, since class 12 I've been writing journals, like diaries and stuff. So like I have that habit of, you know, writing, you know. So
Right.
so I was thinking, okay, how do I make this GTD work in a, you know, journal? So then I came across this excellent, you know, a YouTube video called bullet journaling. It's called Bujo for short, and I'm just blown away, man. It's
Okay.
like it's done by a designer, okay, it's Ryder Carroll. It's called he wrote a book about this also, the bullet journal method, and it's just beautiful. Like you just take any normal notebook and you know, set up all these what do you say, like pages, like an index, a future log. Like I'm telling you guys, like if you are in front of a PC right now, just type bullet journal method on YouTube and watch that video, 4 minutes. Like you know, it really like you know, helped me. So whatever is in my head, like I capture it. So
Is it a book, an app? Right
that's-
now, so like, what do you go to? What's your go to? Like a paper you write?
Yeah,
it down,
I have
or-
I have a huge book. Okay, this long
No,
book.
like you're on the fly right now. You need to remember something.
Then
you
no,
go
Siri.
back home and you
No. Like I don't take any chances. I gotta
Yeah,
like
exactly.
remind. I keep a reminder.
remind.
Yeah, there's
not
this
like a Google Keep, which I usually do.
Google.
Google Keep.
Oh,
like it's just like a Evernote. kind of
Evernote.
a-
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a Google Keep now. I didn't know this.
Huh. No,
Okay.
I've been,
I use Evernote often. Yeah.
but I'm in
Uh.
like the Google Keep. Once you enter Google Keep, like
You no looking back.
Evernote doesn't, because
Oh,
it's just
really?
the same thing.
Same
like give
thing,
or
huh?
take. Like you don't
Right,
have
right.
to like. There's
Okay.
no difference.
Right. After this, I need to remember all the things.
That's the whole point we're recording it.
Right. I guess so. So Google Keep. Got it.
Huh.
So
And so you now you jot it down and then go back home and like
so
transfer it.
like so GTD, how it works is you can use multiple systems to make it work. So if it's not in my my bullet journal, then it's either in my reminders. If it's not in my reminders, in my calendar. Like the app, I think Apple has those things covered. So I use an iPhone.
Huh.
So don't get any ideas. Okay, like I just it's my grandma's second-hand phone.
Right,
So I
right.
just took it and
What works,
Judging
what
your
works.
words.
yeah, you use what works. And it's even rose gold also. so
Even
like
more better.
yeah, so it's like making it work. So this is another app called Vantage calendar in the iOS. So it's very cool. Like it's a 3D calendar basically. So if you have a lot of tasks, that day will have a lot of volume. So when
Okay.
you get to see like
Okay.
So, little bit natural. Don't clap it. Anyway, wind up then.
yeah, so which Vantage helps you like see what kind of days you gonna get. Yeah.
You have my number, right? Yeah. Can transfer 700 to my number.
Thank you, Macha.
Please, can you Google Pay?
Oh shit. Okay. Bro, can I just make a call? Like I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Whoops.
You guys like the place, yeah?
Yeah, it's good. Except for the
Simple, sir. Except for what?
we record all the sounds. It's peaceful.
Where's your
Up and down. Peaceful.
1 hour 15 minutes, bro.
Less only, bro.
No, bro.
We can do round 2. I don't
So
need to
with
speak
what
on
he spoke.
I knew like this would be like an interesting.
Sharp knows what's up.
Get more, bro.
For sure, bro. Timing, like we have a lot of guys, but
Such
like,
a-
the timing has to match.
We'll do calls early morning.
What? Hand slippers missing, no?
He's not ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಮಚ್ಚ.
Did you wear it when you
ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ
went?
ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ.
White.
Possibilities
It must
are
be
very
how
White slippers.
ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ.
Just see the guy who just went outside.
yeah, probably.
I left it right here.
Oh, I think Mohit would have won it and gone out for the call.
ಶೂಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಂದು.
Shoes ಹಾಕೊಂಡು
ಅವ್ನು ಶೂಸ್ ಇದೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಅವನು. No, I think
ಮೋಹಿತ್ ಅವನೇ
I
ಯಾರು?
would have won it.
No, it seems.
No.
No.
It's just my friends
what
taking
it's not.
notice.
It's not his.
Hey, it's fine.
This is white, huh? How is this white?
Welcome to the club, bro. Colorblind, huh?
White? That is the white one which is faded. White? That is not white.
Right, bro. See you. Google Pay me the thing, no? Google Pay? Yeah.
Still recording or what? Oh, it is.
Almost 300, huh?
ಈಗ ಅಕ್ಷತ್ ಮನೆನೋ ಅಲ್ಲ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್
I'll tell you how much.
ಇಸ್ ಗೋನಾ ಗೆಟ್ ಲೇಟ್
Hey, we'll all take one. Yeah. Yeah, we'll all stand there and take two.
No, I don't want.
Wi-Fi, bro, because the network's pretty bad here.
Is it?
Maybe you get it on top, bro. Or just take down my number. Just transfer it when you reach home. 7-5.
So what? Like it keeps on recording and there's no way to pause it, huh?
We can.
But you don't want to.
enough data.
Okay.
No problem.
Huh? They?
We'll edit it later.
Post production, huh?
Fix it in post. Okay.
Forgot what we were talking about.
Blink, the app.
Oh yeah, the apps. The Vantage is one of the apps that I use. Calendar. And what else do I use? Let me just check my phone.
Just check.
Yeah.
And okay, like, just see.
So another thing is like if you guys are using iPhones, any of the audience, like there's this there's this website called Coach.me. He has like this very elaborate post recent, like it's been a year I guess, about how to make your iPhone use like very effective. Okay, like all these social media apps and all, like basically it's a, like ultimate manual of maximizing your iPhone productivity. So like that was overclock. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like these are all like these, he uses psychology, he uses the iPhone's way it works and all that.
Crazy.
Yeah. And one thing I really like about the recent update in the iOS is that iBooks, it now measures how much you read. so now I'm like, okay, Kindle or iPhone. So like it can measure how much time you're reading, what day you're reading, your reading streak, all that. Those measurements I like.
Need some data.
Yeah, I need some data. Yeah, to measure my performance. So like,
see today, did you like clock in?
No, like now
just to see if you clocked in today or yesterday.
Yeah.
What about any service in Bangalore? Like last time we got a guest over, he was like Urban Clap was helpful and like he was he found it useful. Like any other service in Bangalore that up and coming, not something necessarily that is or something that's necessarily known,
like
but
obscure,
like what do you? Anything can be possible, but just like something recently at the top of your head, like probably this service was good. Like I didn't expect it
to be this good.
It was helpful and it'll help people to.
Right.
Anything in Bangalore that you recently?
As of now, like this Rapido thing is like
Rapido
really,
Bounce have been killing it.
Yeah, like more Rapido than Bounce. So yeah. So
any other place to eat? Chill.
To eat, is it?
Street food.
HSR, nice food.
You guys been to Veena stores in Malaysia?
Yeah,
that's
classic.
Classic, yeah. Like everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So where else?
Nothing in general.
Nothing in general, bro. Like if I do, remember it, I guess.
Yeah,
like
probably.
Yeah, I'll write it down somewhere next time. I'll remember. Yeah.
That's that. Okay, give me like top 3 books.
Top 3 books. Okay. See, there's this book that I keep recommending to everyone. Back in 2019, that was the one book you had to read. Okay, so I bought that book also on my like I remember that was the book that I bought for 2019, and I'm really glad about it. It's called The Courage to be Disliked.
Okay.
Like very catchy name, right?
Nice.
So it's written by these 2 Japanese authors. It was first published in Japanese, but then they translated it. It's the whole premise of the book is a wise old philosopher is speaking to a young brash student. He's just called a youth. It's basically a dialogue, like a Socratic dialogue. Like you ask questions, you keep asking questions and get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful book, bro. I have read it like 3 times, I guess, in 2019. And just recently, okay, I found out there's a sequel to the book. It's called Courage to be Happy. I'm like, yes, like I got it. There it is.
Answer to the book.
Yeah. So like I highly recommend The Courage to be Disliked. Highly recommend The Future is Faster Than You Think. So book number 3 would be
which impacted you a lot.
Leaving in 10 minutes.
Impacted me a lot. I'm like, okay. So there's okay, this might be a very odd choice. So but there was a time when like I was very interested in all this POA community, the pickup artist community and all that. Like from there I got like even though like whatever my intended outcome was, I got sidetracked into a lot of very interesting topics.
What's
the name of this book is called Mate. Okay, MATE. It's written by this guy called Tucker Max. And Jeffrey Miller, Dr. Jeffrey Miller. It's a very, very bizarre combination because Tucker Max writes like all these crazy drunk stories, memoirs, very like, does a lot of things which will be considered really, really bad, like you know. So, but Jeffrey Miller is like a very fascinating guy. Okay, he's written a book called The Mating Mind. So his theory is that the whole point why human beings have creativity is because of sexual selection. So back when we were like human beings were cavemen, like this might be like the Jordan Peterson argument too, but chimpanzees, you know, you have heard of this, right? Like the female chimpanzees, they don't have any, you know, what do you say, inhibitions of, you know, mating with almost any male in the chimpanzee tribe. But human beings are like, you know, the females seem to be very selective. Like the selection process is like that's basically like sexual selection.
Exactly.
So when you think about it, like how evolution and mother nature works is that, you know, like only the survival of the fittest thing. So like, see, this may sound like, you know, sexist or whatever, but you know, I'm just telling you what I got from the book. Yeah. So like, you know, I'm not endorsing my views here. I'm just talking about the Jeffrey Miller book. Yeah. So in that his theory for creativity was, see, creativity does not have any survival, you know, advantage. Like, you know, evolution is very conservative. It only uses the things which is needed for survival.
Okay.
So how come like this creativity, like, you know, stories, art, music, you know, where does this fit in? So it seems like it's how a peacock has this huge feather, right? Huge. It is actually inhibition.
Today I was reading about.
It's an inhibition. Like, what are you reading?
No, it's something regarding the peacock. Like it has the feathers for the peacock, where basically it's a mating.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
But it's in a way, it's creative as in a way, like it says, see, I have all the resources. I have so much resource that I have like a nice flowery.
Exactly. There you go.
So that's the extra where says I'm good. Like I have like the shiny object and like the symbol and the status. That's
and get this. The peacock is gonna spend a lot of time making sure
Energy.
that huge, you know, thing at the, you know, it doesn't get dust. You know,
Dust
it's
and
impeccable,
like,
like highest standards. You know, faultless.
so that is
Yeah.
so it's signaling to a mate saying that I can go out of my way. It's not only about like this, that I can take care of this.
Yeah. See, I'm above all this. I'm above all the bullshit,
all the
and I can like take care of this when I'm at
Lambo in my
it.
garage.
Yeah. Huh?
I have a Lambo in my garage.
Yeah,
Stuff
dude.
like that.
I swear, it's virtue signaling. Like,
What's this?
so like this Jeffrey Miller is like, you know, it's a very
nice.
fascinating book. Like I haven't finished it. It's a very purely academic book, this Mating Mind. But I'm getting there. Like there's a intention why I'm like talking about Jeffrey Miller.
Right.
So when Jeffrey Miller, like the human mind, creativity, consciousness, it's basically the peacock feather of human beings.
Okay.
So you see all these guys like, you know, spending so much time to like, you know, expand their mind. It's basically that's how it evolved.
It's a metaphor for like
A peacock feather, yeah, the peacock.
Okay.
So,
Like how man goes out of his way in order to cultivate
yes.
that aspect, which is somewhat like is creativity.
Yeah.
Which translates to creativity.
Yeah.
Okay, like we'll.
There's even a like now that you get to think about this idea, like this may even be considered immature. So what, like guys just human
going
beings
out of his way.
human beings are just making all of this art and architecture and all this technology just to like impress girls. Impress the other sex. So like but if you listen to some of the songs, it sort of makes sense, like
it does make sense.
Yeah.
But it's in a different lens probably. Okay, like who was Mohit in school?
Oh, hold on. Like,
college?
I'm just gonna finish off this.
Sure.
Yeah. So I told you about the courage to be disliked. Future is faster than you
Future
think.
is faster than you
So
think.
the reason I'm bringing up Mate here is because one thing, it's written by Tucker Max, because he's like all this, he's a total douchebag. So, but he's like he's a decent writer. So Jeffrey Miller is actually an academician. Like he's like the guy who has like the academic cred. How did these two guys
It's
meet?
like a Rashar
How did
combination.
how did they make like a book? It's baffling. Okay, but the resources page in Mate, it's freaking incredible, guys. Like I'm telling you, like if you buy Mate, right, like even if you're not inclined to like use the book for its intended purpose to get the girls, I mean, each chapter has these references to these books which are like amazing. Education of Millionaires, I found it through that. And there's this other book about health called Man 2.0. I found it through this Mate. I really love the references. Yeah, this if you go to the website of this book Mate, you'll find the references. You know, you guys, like, just go check out the references, because most of the books that I'm selecting are, you know, based on that. It, like, there's a lot of it. Like, there's a lot of books. And side note, this is a weird thing about Jeffrey Miller. He's into polyamory. Okay, basically swingers, like swinging, like, you know, having multiple partners and all. Promiscuous, exactly. So, like, he's a very
Promiscuous, like it kind of hidden. Like other
yeah,
partner
but
doesn't
here he's
know.
like very open about it.
Open. He's
Yeah, yeah.
Polyamory is like
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
open and like
Yeah.
be around basically.
Yeah, he's very like, that's what he talks about. There was this very interesting podcast with Sam Harris and Jeffrey Miller. Like, Sam Harris was like, so polyamory, is it worth it? Like, Jeffrey Miller is like, absolutely worth it. Like, it's a lot of fun. And I'm like, but how do you make it work? Like, you know, like, you got to be authentic. Like, you know, you can't you know, fool around. You cannot hide anything. And okay, speaking of polyamory, this is a small detour, all right? It's about jealousy, basically. Like, Jeffrey Miller says that, you know, like, according to the people, the swingers and the polyamory people, they think that the jealousy is some, you know, social construct. Basically, it's not innate to human beings. But according to evolution, it most likely is, you know, because Jeffrey Miller was talking about that. And another book that, you know, to reference to this is that there's this guy called David M. Buss, B-U-S-S.
David Buss.
Okay.
Ty speaks about him. David M. Buss.
M. Buss.
Crazy.
So-
Social. He's a evolutionary psychologist.
Yes, evolutionary psychologist. So, one of his books that
Ty's, it's a Ty's mentor basically.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
He always speaks
Yeah.
about David M. Buss.
Nice. So, David M. Buss's book called The Murderer Next Door.
Uh-huh.
That book is very interesting, very, very dark, but very fascinating. Okay, like, the tendency for human beings to kill, right? It comes from mate selection. So if you think about it, like, polyamory and like the most of the murders happen because of jealousy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of risk and high risk, high reward factor going on.
Exactly.
So, like, you know, that's a book you can check out. I like if you're like interested in like violence and, you know, how murders and all that, you know, basically the psychology of it. So very, you know, interesting Sunday read, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, depends on what you read.
Nice.
So
Huh.
so I guess, yeah, that's it. Like, 3 books.
3 books.
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
Yeah. And hey, like, Education of Millionaires, I'm gonna keep like pushing that
probably
book.
I have to. Like,
Yeah. Just dude, guys,
definitely.
just
We'll
get
do
that
a
book.
book review or
Yeah.
something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to ask, who was Mohit in college? If I were to meet Mohit in
More
college.
in college or like in school, like what?
School,
Take your pick.
college.
Okay.
College
Back
school.
in college. So okay, this is like something like, you know, like back in college, I was, see, to me, Manipal like is like paradise.
It's a
you
whole
know?
world in
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, I really loved Manipal. Like, even though I was like complaining during that time a lot, but like, you know, like
We used to
coming to
come for fests,
Bangalore,
bro.
yeah.
We used
Yes.
to come from fests.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we used to chill there.
Chill there, nice. Like, everybody used to come to chill in Manipal,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like, so it
Yeah.
was the scene. So, like, even though I was like a localite, right? I used to come from Karkala,
Karkala, yeah.
30 kilometers away. Like, still I was able to, like, I don't think I like went, like, I only scratched the surface, but whatever. Like, I am really grateful for, you know, the people that I met there, and you know, whatever happened. So, but if you really like met me during that time, like, I was the guy with, like, you know, with really low self-esteem, you know. Like, I had, like, you know, bottomless pit kind of.
Gang, bro.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, one of these tendencies which I'm still, like, you know, dealing with even in today is that I tend to beat myself up a lot. Okay, like,
Right.
if I like screw something up, failures become a bit too costly.
Yeah.
So the guy, if there's an authority figure, and like, you know, if they find out that, oh, okay, there's a failure happened, he doesn't have to do anything. I'll just basically start beating myself up.
Right.
So like, there's been
Hold
a
yourself accountable.
yeah, like, but it becomes like
Self-harming to a point.
not self-harming. Yeah, it could.
Abusive to a point.
Yeah, like, you know, hey, like, you know, like, what a screw up, you know,
Right,
like whatever I touch turns to shit, like reverse Midas, something
Take it
like that.
overboard a bit.
Yeah,
no?
take it overboard a bit. Yeah, this was a serious impact, is that, you know, I'm not able to concentrate on the task that I'm doing, or, you know, before I even start something, like, I'm gonna
You
screw this
wanna,
up
like,
too. Yeah.
Paralysis by analysis.
That too. So then out of this, what was missing was I'm not able to, like, there's no, even when I'm speaking to people, right? There's this tendency that, okay, what is this guy think of me? Does this think of me like negatively? Like, okay, I need to like look good and avoid looking bad, and all that extra processing, like all the bandwidth which I'm supposed to like spend time, it goes somewhere else. Yeah.
If it helps, like all of us were in those shoes, and if anybody listening to will obviously like resonate. Okay, like let me finish the podcast.
But finally, like now okay, I'm just gonna
go on, bro. This is your mic.
So
you can, like, definitely go.
So now what I'm seeing is like, see, now that I'm aware of this, like when I come from the fact that, okay, like I'm loving what I'm doing, like the love for humanity, the metta bhavana part. So like when I come from there, right, things this is a totally different story. Like if I come from a place that, okay, I'm a screw up, like a loser doing this, then that's gonna be the outcome.
Serve anything.
It doesn't serve anything. But when I come from the fact that, okay, like love and compassion, humanity,
definitely.
like, bringing that up, then, things change.
So if anybody's listening and if you have all these self-doubts, probably you have to try Vipassana meditation.
Yeah, why not?
And something like that.
I'm not saying if you have these doubts, like just try Vipassana,
Just
like
try
explore
it.
it.
Have an open
Have
mind.
like an openness to experience, going.
Okay, like let me finish off the podcast.
Yeah, right, bro.
With a question that I've been trying to ask.
Any scary stories, bro? Spooky real life.
No, bro. I don't have any.
Any
unfortunately. Eerie stuff. Oh, this is very interesting. Like, I didn't expect this question.
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends on the guest.
Okay. Scary stories.
Like you've experienced, that is.
No, man. Like, no, actually. Like,
Nothing as of yet.
Nothing as of yet. Yeah.
What about podcasts? Like, what is your overview on podcasts?
Overview on podcasts?
On a general basis, because again, moving to audio, because people are getting hands free and their eyes are glued to the
screen,
to the road,
or
like to their what they're doing, and so like people are listening because that's where I find myself listening a lot versus like before. As to like I had a lot of screen time, but now I'm just my ears are free now. That's the only thing that so I can pick up a lot of stuff just by listening.
I think there's a lot of podcasts going on, but the people who are looking for the podcast like this, like the more niche thing you find, I think you're gonna find it. So I guess like
does it help in any way, or when you listen, or like anything that you listen often?
Actually, I don't listen to much podcasts these days. Audiobooks. Yeah, I guess
because
so,
it's the way it goes from books, audiobooks, then it goes to podcasts, like the flow. Slowly, right. Okay, let me finish off by asking: do you have a message for somebody who's 10,000 years away from today?
Oh, very, very, very fascinating. Okay.
Like it doesn't have to do with like anybody who's listening to it right now. Like, they'd be dead and gone, like 10,000 years away from it.
Oh, interesting. Like that's like some far out thinking, bro. Like
it's gonna last, bro. It's gonna be in the rays out there.
Yeah, the rays. Oh yeah, like the radio signals out there.
It's a message in a bottle, like 10,000 years away from here. Like we're gonna be so fucking old and pale compared to what if.
Who knows, right? Like what if like lifespans increase every year you're alive, and
so do you have any message?
Like
you're gonna be the great
grandfather,
grand. Right. So you can tell anything, you can shit on them. So they anyways way older.
Right. Like I don't even know what to say.
I mean, this is your message to them.
Well,
you can think.
Like
somebody who's 10,000 years away from.
Yeah, like we human.
There's no way you can actually speak to them. So
it like for a long time it seemed to me that life was suffering. Like it's very a lot of things don't work.
You're telling them. You're not telling me.
Like
you're
that's
speaking to them.
Yeah, in 10,000 years from now, I expect things to work. like I don't know like what it looks like. Could be a utopia. Maybe like out in space and whatnot. Like it's
so
very.
This is your message to them.
Yeah.
Speak to them.
So we have come a long way then, we have like come a long way. Like we escaped like a lot of extinction events, the whole part about the Cold War shit, like like nuclear weapons and all that stuff.
We went through a lot of shit in our century, so we're
going through corona right
we are going through coronavirus right now.
FYI.
Like, yeah, for your information. Like people are shit scared, you know, like
This is all the micro stuff, bro. Give us like the macro,
macro, huh?
like just like a one word or a one sentence.
I'm just,
a
you know,
takeaway.
baffled by my, you know, overwhelmed by the power of my species, basically.
Huh.
Like,
So wherever you are, like,
yeah,
take hold of it.
yeah,
See where your genes have come from.
yeah. Like we have come a long way from where we, you know, started. Like,
Huh.
so, like, you know what? Let's not talk about that. You know what? If you're like, listening this 10,000 years in the future, like, is like Warhammer 40k franchise still around? Like, does it still,
Is
you know?
BTC 20, 200k, 2 million?
No, like Warhammer 40k.
I have no clue what is this.
Oh,
bro.
dude, Warhammer 40k is a franchise that it's a fiction. Okay,
Okay.
it's like humanity set in like the 40,000 year 40,000.
Okay.
And they are at war with all the alien species. So when you said 10,000, that's what popped in my head. But
Good.
then yeah, so
Is it still around? That's your question.
yeah, that's my question. You know, like hey, it started out as a board game, guys, and now
so
it's
what is up?
huh? Yeah, what is up?
What is
like,
up?
like, do you guys still like fight? Like, are there wars anymore? Like, did
Yeah.
you find aliens and stuff? So we're still wondering about aliens.
Yeah.
So
What's happening?
what's happening? And
Do you still have
Ask them about
McD
the
there?
alien weed, bro.
Yeah.
How good the
oh,
VX
are
is.
people even human after 10,000 years?
Yeah.
Like,
Do you still have McD?
like, does time travel work? Yeah.
So okay, guys,
Yeah.
let me wrap up the episode by saying like it was a phenomenal experience by
Right.
getting Mr. Mohit over,
Yeah.
and shout out to my man Sham for making this happen.
Bro, anytime.
And we have like a lot of guys supporting us at the podcast here, so I think it's brilliant that we have so many people. And anyways, to sign off, I'm just saying that it's been a good episode, and probably I'll be re-listening to it again and again,
You should probably
just
list down the
to
names of the books
just
as
for
well.
reference.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to find you online,
Oh.
Instagram, Facebook, any handle,
I don't know if I want people to find me online.
huh? No
Yeah.
problem. Just like call me up.
Okay. Yeah. Just you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Cool guys. See
Cool
you.
guys,
That
yeah.
was the Bangalore podcast.
Right.
And remember, you only heard it at the Bangalore podcast because we are only Bangalore's only podcast, right?
Right.
So see you guys. Good. Have a good night. Bye bye. Thank you,
Right.
bro, Mohit.
Yes. Thank
It's
you
a
guys.
pleasure.
Yeah.
You won Corona handshake.
Yeah. Corona
We're off.
handshake. Yeah.
Good night.